Hi everybody. When I was a kid, I loved building monster models. And the monster models that I built were by Aurora. A lot of you people there, if you're around my age, if you're of the boomer generation, you remember these monster model kits. You were a monster kid, and on Christmas morning, uh, I would have these boxes here. This one I'm showing is, of course, Frankenstein, one of my favorite boxes. I got these model kits under the tree, and there were 12 of them, and at some point I had all 12. And I remember being up like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we didn't sleep, my sister and I, all the way to the morning. We actually wound up getting up in the middle of the night, and my mother would sit there and watch me build the Frankenstein model and the Mummy and Dracula and the Creature from the Black Lagoon and all the rest of them with the rubber cement that we had that was probably intoxicating at the time. Anyway, great memories. Now, what I want to show you is this box. They came in boxes like this. They all had different colors. Now, these are not the originals, and this is not an original box. I'll get into that later. Okay, this is not an original box. But originally, when these models came out, they were in longer, slender boxes before my time. They were the early to mid 60s, I think. And I think they changed it to the glow in the dark, where you could either paint your model or you could just have a glow in the dark head and glow in the dark hands. And these are the ones I grew up with, the square box. I think these debuted in 1969. I had these probably from between 1970 and 72, that period. At 73 maybe, is when I had them. I think they were $1 something a box. These days, if you were to find a model kit, an original model kit of one of the monsters, it would really be a good amount of change and very expensive. This is the Aurora brand, but I know these were put out later by Atlantis Kits and Polar Lights, but this is the original kind of design box. I ordered this from somebody who does replicas. So again, this is not an original Frankenstein box, but it is redone, and it's very, very well done. I figured I was going to try this out. I was going to see if I liked the first one. If I like Frankenstein, and I do, then I'm going to get Dracula, the Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Godzilla, King Kong, do all of them. Probably all 12 at some point. And these are good to have up on my shelves. It's just an empty box that it comes with. You can't probably see or tell, but it's very, very smooth, very glossy. The original boxes were not glossy like this and slick. They were papery, dull paper. That's how I remember them. But yeah, this really brings back memories, and I got this specifically as a design. You know what I mean? A design to just put on the shelf on the top of the bookcase. When I do my live videos, you can see the top of my bookcases, and that's where I'll probably line these up. So this was a lot of fun to do, to get. The reason I got a facsimile is because it's a lot more affordable, a facsimile thereof, than the original box. The original box is pricey. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining me for the Aurora model kit of Frankenstein.